best legal training pod around. HCDAO, let's go. HCDAO, let's go.
Hello and welcome to HCDAO Studios, the best training studio in a Harris County District Attorney's office on the 6th floor. I don't care what anyone says, we are number one. And today in the studio we have Bianchi Villalobos.
Hi, everyone.
And she's here today to tell us all how to pick a jury. But Bianchi, you're not a lawyer, right?
No, not at all.
Okay,
I do
good.
IT.
Hopefully you haven't tried too many cases then. But what Bianchi does know how to do is use a lot of productivity tools. So when we say today we're going to learn how to pick a jury, what we mean is to use these tools to effectively take notes, because we are in the 21st century now. And you might be thinking, Chris, the 21st century has been going on for about 25 years now. Well, a lot of people are still using pen and paper. They still have their magic markers. They're still using crayons. Okay, no more crayons. We're going to start using the computer. Okay, so let's use that computer. And so take us through, what is the first step here that we're going to do?
Okay, the first step is going to be super important. We're going to be using office.com.
And do you have a suggestion whether they use Chrome or Edge or any other browser? Or is it kind of up to them?
It's up to them as long as they log into office.com.
But they should use Chrome.
I do
Yeah,
like
we all
Chrome.
use Chrome. Okay.
Okay.
We're a Chrome household here at the DA's office.
I agree. I do love Chrome.
Okay. So you got your Chrome open here.
Okay. And I'm in office.com. And what we're going to do is click sign in.
Okay. And you're going to
And
sign
then it's
in.
going to take me straight to here. I already have my email typed in. Everyone should know their email if you're not new.
And you should know a password. And important to note that if it gives you the option to log in with a work or school account or a personal account, you better pick work or else you're going to have a bad time, right?
Mm-hmm. So this is your OneDrive online, and we're going to use this in just a second. So can you tell us a little bit more about where I should be going if I'm a lawyer and I want to pull up like a jury panel?
Well, what you're going to want to do once you get that ready is you're going to want to go to your main page. And the good thing is now is that we forced you to go to this page every time you open your browser, okay? We've taken away all choices because this is really the only way you should be using the internet now, or the intranet, right? Mm-hmm. And so how would you think if you were like, I want to do jury analysis, what might you type into that box?
Me, because I am not a lawyer, so I would just type jury.
Okay, that's good. Would you, I already see a couple
Jury
good options.
selection.
Okay, so
or jury analysis. Like
jury analysis, wow. Okay, and that narrows us down to two possibilities. But if you note, viewers, while she was doing that, you actually were able to see every single, they were all showing up, right? So you can kind of type in what you want. That's a pretty cool feature that everybody, Gary's boys came up with there. And ladies, Gary's boys and ladies. I don't know why the ladies are older than the boys, but that's not even true. Okay, so you pull up the jury analysis. Mm-hmm. We saw you click on it there.
Yeah.
And now what are we doing here?
You are going to be entering a panel ID. And if you don't know...
I don't know my panel ID.
That's right. If you don't know your panel ID, we do have a wiki page on here.
And that was one of the search results.
That is one of the search results. If you just click on the wiki tab, you can also, it'll take you straight
Getting
there.
panel ID for jury analysis. That seems important.
Yeah. So whenever you get to this process and you think, I don't know how to get my panel ID, which whenever I've been going and I help people get their spreadsheet open, it has happened. They don't know how to get their panel ID. So we do have a little information page for you here. This was made by Chris.
Wow. Look at that. It's highlighted.
Because Chris really wants to help y'all pick a good jury.
And I will tell you all, okay, so for years, I waited for the clerks to give me that panel ID, right? And they take too long. If you get on there at 8:59, you refresh, it's not there. Get on there at 9, you refresh, it's not there. Most of the time at 9:01, 9:02, you already have all of that information ready to go. The defense is over there chatting about their weekend. They're talking about where they're going to go at lunch. You can already be halfway through this process, right? So it is 9:01 a.m. It is trial day. What do we do next?
So we are going to go get our panel ID from here. And The link is already up here for y'all, but we went ahead and made that easier as well. So if you just type panel ID.
Panel ID.
If I could spell. And then.
I'm going to go to all.
All right. And if you look at our third option right here, and it says jury panel ID search. If you click on that, it should take you to the district clerk's office. And as you can see, Chris is already logged in. I do not have a login, so I'm going to go ahead and log in with his.
But your lawyer's investigator should have a login. And if you don't have a login, you're going to need to contact either the help desk, and they'll get you set up, or just ask a friend to get this information for you in the morning.
Cool. So we log in. And can you tell me where to go from here?
Yeah, so you're going to go to the top left corner. There's a little gavel. Click on that, and you're going to click on Panel Management.
Okay.
Top left. And then boom, here's the most important screen. You're going to click on the court, and the wiki will walk you through all this very slowly. But let's say, I don't really know who's in trial now, but if we go back to that wiki page there at the top, it'll kind of show you one that was real. And so in this one, somebody was in the impact court. It gets a little tricky. You might have to look around for it, but I guess DG7, which is one of the designations, and you can actually see the cause number that the case is ordered for. So the clerk won't let you search by cause number, but you can see the cause number if you know your court. So once you pull up your court, you see that cause number.
Okay.
So then once you highlight over that blue link, if the panel is not ready yet, right, it's 8:59, nothing's going to show up in that top screen. But if the panel is ready, you're going to get a link. And when you click on that link, you're going to go to a full printout on that screen of every juror that's on there, right?
So what I'm getting from this is you want to know your court whenever you get to this page.
You're going to need to know your court, yeah.
Okay.
But once you get to that part, you look up there at the address bar, and if we can pop back over to the wiki page there. And if you scroll down a little bit, you can see that your top address bar, you can see I've circled a number there, a 6-digit number. Mm-hmm. That link is actually the panel ID if you only use the last 6 digits. So you don't need to do anything else on this page. The only reason you ever go to this page is to get those last 6 digits. So once you have this, close out that clerk site. You're not going to need it ever again.
Cool.
You're done with the clerks.
Okay.
The next time you see the clerk, it's going to be because they're writing up your judgment for life because you won and you got life, all because of this training and this wonderful jury tool.
Okay. So back
and then
to
I'm
what
going to
we
take
were
a trial
doing.
credit, and then I'm taking half a trial credit because you used it. So just buckle up for that.
So once you get your panel ID, we're back here, and we showed you how to get to that earlier. If you need to backtrack and get back to it, you type in your panel ID. Okay. So this is one that I know off the top of my head. Can you explain what the visualization is?
Yeah, so we have multiple visualizations. None gives you none of the color coding. We have visualization 1, which is kind of a one level of sorting people out by color based. Like for instance, it age, maybe your older jurors might be coded green, your youngers might be a little red because you don't know if they have the maturity to sit on your jury. As people come up with more visualizations and send them to us, we'll be able to actually add additional options. So we'll have some, more custom visualizations to pick from. But for right now, your options are either kind of do it yourself after you download it or go with one. I would say if you don't know, go with none, because you don't want to be using somebody else's visualization and not really be able to explain. Let's say after that life sentence, you get a writ and they ask you, why were these people colored red that you struck? It's probably not going to be great to be like, I have literally no idea at all. I don't know. It's Hanley's weird computer and Bianchi. They recorded a video and they told me to do it. That's our writs division is probably not going to appreciate that. So let's go ahead and know why we're visualizing things.
Okay. So after you typed in your panel ID, as you all saw, I did go ahead and process everything, and it took me to this page right here. And at this point, you have a customized spreadsheet ready for download for you, and it has your panel's information.
Nice.
You won't have to copy data over from anywhere else. It's already made for you.
Wow.
So we click to download here. You want to click.
Whoa. It says insecure download blocked. Uh-oh. What does that mean?
It just means it's not trusting my spreadsheet that I made for you, but you
Yeah.
do want to keep it because I
Haters.
made it.
Haters. Google are haters. You can never turn that off. So ignore it, and it's going to go to your download folder. But what you don't want to do is what we just did. You don't want to click to open it. All right. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go back to that Office 365 page that you logged into, office.com, right?
Yes.
And you're going to click upload on there. Okay. And you can do that really anywhere. If you want to upload to a folder, you can. But if you go to the My Content,
Okay, we're here.
and then you want to go to the upload,
The button right here. That took me a long time to find.
and you're going to click. And usually it's going to go to your downloads folder. But if it doesn't, on the left-hand side, you can see all your folders, and you're going to go ahead and click that.
The one that we just made for today, we just made it. So you click on it right here. You click open, or you just click enter.
Yeah. And it's always going to have that weird name, the 65, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's, if you have a smaller panel, that number will be factored in. But you're 99% of the way here, right? And so you're going to get this page. It kind of opens on different tabs. This is a tab made for investigators to be able to put information in. Mm-hmm. And so let's say I downloaded this and I'm like, well, this is great. I'm here. But, my investigator, my paralegal, my friend, they all offered to help me with jury selection today. They said, you know what, we'll do some background research. We'll take some notes. Mm-hmm. Should they just write it in a notepad and bring it up to me, or should they email me with their notes? How should they get that information to me when they're picking the jury, or when I'm picking the jury?
They should all work on it on this sheet. And you can do that.
What?
You can do that because we just used the OneDrive. So what we taught you to log in earlier.
There's a reason for that.
There is a reason for that.
What?
So you can all work on jury selection at the same time.
Wow.
And it'll update like in real time is what we call it. And you'll be able to work and take notes all at the same time. And one person can be on just looking at it. The other two people can be taking notes. So what makes it productive, which is a good idea, right?
Collaboration. And I'm going to take a wild guess here. I'm going to say probably that big share button in the top right. Is that going to come in handy for this function?
That is going to come in super handy. So what you're going to click on here is click share. And you can either, if you know the people who you want to include in here, you can type in their email. You can also just copy this link and go into your email and send it to them that way, but you can just add them on here.
And then everybody gets it. And, just so we can briefly go over, can we go to the jury analysis tab?
Yeah,
the
of
main
course.
tab.
And then you'll get to see what we mean by visualization on here. And that's your area of
And
expertise.
so there you go. And so, we have trainings about this kind of separately, but the idea would be that if you're typing in here and you can see things or you find something, you can type in the notes. You could also put in notes over here under MISC notes. If you don't want to kind of jumble up that main page, you keep track of your cause questions. Maybe you have an intern and the intern's like, hey, you just focus on, digging dirt, finding some background info. I'm going to mark down specifically what each juror said with regard to these specific cause questions. Special attention tab, before you get started, before you get up and even begin, you're going to see we have a list of people that either said they were retired or they put NA or they left their job information blank. There's really few things more helpful than knowing what somebody's job is. And one thing I've seen people do effectively is they might say, hey, we understand if people don't want to say, oh, I'm unemployed or I got laid off. But a good way to frame that is say, we don't need you to put you on the spot, but if you're in school, tell us what you're going to school to be. If you're unemployed, tell us what kind of job you would be looking for right now. And if you're retired, just tell us what was your last job that you were doing or what did you spend the majority of your career, right? So that's what that tab is going to tell you. Concerns for cause is if you have that jury analysis page, if you mark somebody here with this little exclamation point, if you add that on there, it's actually going to flag them and it's going to show on that special attention tab, concerns for cause. So if you're sitting there with your trial partner and your trial partner's got their laptop up, maybe they have a little podium or something, and you find some real bad information about somebody, they're just like, I really hate DAs. I hate Chris Hanley personally. Well, if somebody flags that, and I see concern for cause pop up, maybe I'm going to ask some questions, or maybe I'll ask, hey, judge, can I have a moment? I'll go ask my trial partner, what's going on with this concern for cause? I have a concern. And the reason I say concerns for cause is because we have a concern of something we found that we should probably ask them some cause questions, because we're starting to get the idea that they might not be able to fully execute their oath as a juror, I guess, to put it lightly.
And then I'll just give you an example of how you can add a note on here that the person who has a concern for cause does not like attorneys.
And so, well, that might be a great juror if they hate attorneys.
Does not.
Depends on if they hate me or not. So, I think that about does it. I will say, once you're done, this is a announcement from the Writs and Appellate Division. You need to save this. If it's only one person needs to save it, because obviously since this is collaborative, it's going to show up for everybody, but somebody on the trial team needs to save this as a PDF, put it in eCase, then just save the files. The same thing you would do with your regular notes, you got to do with this, right? So if you get that life sentence, make sure that you've preserved your notes in the same way that you would preserve any other notes, right? But that being said, once you've saved as a PDF, or you've saved it, or you've printed it and put it with a paper file, however you do it, then you can delete it, okay? You don't need to hold on to it unless if you've added those visualizations that we talked about and you've added your own conditional formatting, and that's a little bit advanced. We're not going to go into that. But if you've added your own conditional formatting to this spreadsheet, you can give that to us and we can actually make that one of the options. Wouldn't that be something?
It would be nice.
But don't do too much, because we don't want to have 100. So if we get too many, I'm just going to start saying, I don't really like your visualization. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but I might, I guess. It depends on, what we're, I don't know. But just send us the visualizations. So
what do you think? Did we miss anything?
I don't think we missed anything at all. I think we did a great job. So I think with that, I want to thank again Bianchi Villalobos for being on the training pod today. It's the number one training pod on the 6th. I've just received word that somebody else has started a podcast on the 6th floor, and theirs is probably better than ours. Not hard to do. So congrats to them. But again, I just want to remind everybody to go out there and prosecute like a champion.
H-Town, prosecuting from H-Town, 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 the best legal training pod around.